Hey Aussie gamers, and to everyone that loves video games and things alike, this is the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. Born and bred within the land of opportunity and slow, overpriced internet. For news, reviews, and video game related fun, keep listening along with your hosts, Lucas and Red. This is episode 163, and today is Thursday the 16th of March 2017. Welcome to the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. I am your host Lucas, and here with me is my co-host and good friend Red. How are
you? Brilliant. I tried to think of something real witty to say because we get a minute on the preview on the Facebook page, but yeah, nothing come out.
Just for this bit to be the part that people hear.
So, and then just spitting that out wouldn't have been a good advertisement tool.
Seriously, the show's great. It's not just full of this stupid shit. Maybe it is, but anyway, before we start, here is this week's show in preview. First up, we'll have video game discussion, then we'll do video game news, and in this week's news, we have Guardians of the Galaxy voice actors, Quake Champions update, and a Nintendo Switch update. Then after that, we're going to give something new a try. We've got two segments that we're going to trial. First one, Remember When, and we'll give a little bit more information as to what that is during the segment. Then we'll do user-created content, then What's That Sound, Red Shout, and Last Words. So there's going to be a feature-packed show this week, and we'll see how it goes from there on in. So, Red, first up, video game discussion.
So we had a little prep talk, and it's like, we'll keep this one down a little bit, and so we can introduce new topics. Well, I played more games this week than I've played in a fucking month, so here we fucking go. Finished and completed Horizon Zero Dawn. I think we've touched on absolutely everything about that in previous shows and in a review and everything like that. All I want to say is my play style led me to be able to play the campaign from about Mission 5 when you first get to Meridian all the way to the end without stopping doing side quests or collectibles, and being able to experience it in that capacity was absolutely fucking mind-blowing. A really good narrative that never got kind of chopped up in between having to go do fetch missions and collectibles and shit like that.
So you're saying that you did so much side content early on that when the meat of the story started coming out, you were able to just keep plowing through?
I was max level by campaign mission 6.
6 out of 21?
One, yep.
You're max at 6, that's good.
And I played 6 to 21 in one sitting, about 12 and a half hours.
Jesus. Yeah, I think I got to level 37, 38 by the time I finished it.
Yeah. So I got 92.6 game completion at 47 hours and 16 minutes, I believe, give or take a couple of minutes.
Nice. All right, there you go. So it's a 50-hour plus game if you want to do
for
absolutely everything. And you platinumed it.
And I platinumed it, yes, first for the year.
Lovely. I think Weeksy platinumed it as well. It's something I plan on platinuming, but I don't know. I haven't had the time yet to put it all into it and plan other things.
Okay, one quick tip for anyone out there that hasn't picked it up yet, wants to pick it up, and I'll just do I played it on very hard setting. If you want to do that and you want to kind of not breeze through but go through without too much issue, is as soon as you come up to those training camps, the hunter training mission things,
yep,
do them all as quickly as possible. They might be a little bit hard and a little bit grindy, but once they're all done, you will be able to go back to a place in Meridian and get the best weapons in the game.
Yeah, because you to get some of the weapons you need the medals or something, don't you?
The Blazing Suns, yeah.
Yeah.
But you need them all. You need all 15.
Yep. Oh, okay.
3-star, all of them. Yeah.
Right. Hey, quick question to finish off that. With Horizon Zero Dawn, did you encounter any bugs?
No.
Me neither.
No, not one. Weeksy had one CE, one critical area, or blue screen, if you will.
Yeah.
Other than that, no. Not a single hiccup. Not even really any graphical glitches or floating rocks or anything. The only thing it was I think you made mention to previously was the popping in and out and a bit with
that's not a bug,
distance,
man.
but that's performance of the PS4.
Yeah, but look, no, how do they make a game where you can play it for 50 hours odd and not have a bug? That's insane. Absolutely insane.
It's fucking wicked pedigree.
Yeah.
I tell you, well, not pedigree, but it's credibility now to Guerrilla, because all the Killzone games look pretty decent for the platform that they are on. But the initial 1 and 2, Killzone 1 and 2, were really good stories, and they've kind of petered off a little bit. And then you had the Vita or the PSP installments, which weren't really, really good, and the launch title of Killzone Shadowfall. Fuck, man, that was one of the first opening cutscenes and everything I'd seen, and that was fucking brilliant. It's like, this is what the PS4 is. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It looked fucking brilliant in the cutscene. The game didn't look too bad itself either, but it was a really poo game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, 9.8 out of 10.
Yeah, fair enough.
Moving on. I put a video up on the page last night. A couple of things have clicked with me for Honor multiplayer. I love it. I can't say much more. I've gone Prestige 7. I've got max gear score on my Raider, and a 2.9 KD. So look out. I'm fucking really hammering that shit home. I actually started the campaign for Honor last night on realistic, or whatever the hardest difficulty is, going on a little bit of a trophy hunt. May as well just punch it out on the hardest difficulty first, and then go back and do a collectible mop-up later on easy.
Yep.
Very, very short missions. Look, even on hard, where you do have to take your time in these battles, a mission can sometimes only last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I like short missions in games.
It's the length of a multiplayer game. Half the maps are multiplayer maps, and then you'll hit every third or fourth map, you'll hit a nice big chunky more open sort of a map.
Yeah.
So I like that, how they've saved themselves a little bit of work and set up, because there's 3 different chapters, right? So you got your chapter for each faction. I'm doing the night one at the moment, because that's the first one. They're all available to you, but I'm just doing the night one.
What's the bet that they sell us those big open areas in the campaign as DLC maps for the multiplayer?
Fuck, that'd work. Give us an 8v8 on the map that I played last night. Oh my god, that'd be so good. But yeah, so I like it. So each mission I've played so far, barring that one major one that I just made mention to, 10-minute maps, really. But the story's a little bit hollow. There's one there, but we're not playing For Honor for its campaign, and I'm only playing its campaign for its trophies. So I can't ask much more. It's entertaining, very entertaining, and it's a very tricksy game to try and play without the indicator on screen to tell you which way to block or attack.
Yeah,
you've just got to based on the way they're balancing. Okay, moving on. I played 2 games of Battlefield 1 because I'd done an update yesterday, and I thought it was DLC, and I was fucking wrong. It's not DLC.
Oh, okay.
So moving on. Salt and Sanctuary. I've been privileged enough to share accounts with Weeksy.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's a borderline millionaire, I've I've got a lot of games and a lot of season passes to games that I never had the season pass to. So I got Salt and Sanctuary, which those in the know is a 2D Dark Souls homage, however they say it. And it is exactly that. It is action RPG on a 2D scale. It is everything Dark Souls is. There's no tutorial. There's heaps of different items you don't know what to do, whether to use them, whether to save them. You die, you've got to go back and get your experience. You light bonfires. You can put magic on your weapons. You can get ranged attacks, ranged bones, and everything like that. It is just Dark Souls 101. You pick from a paladin, a warrior, underprivileged, a cleric. It's 2D Dark Souls. We've made a lot of comparisons to Dark Souls lately with different games, but this is truly a black and white version, 2D version of Dark Souls, and it is really hard and really cool. So it's actually on special for a fortnight for about $11 to PS Plus subscribers.
Oh, that's cheap. That's all right.
Yeah, not bad at all. There's a new sale just went up, actually, a new digital sale. I got Firewatch, haven't played it yet. Very excited to play it. All right, the big one I'm going to take 5 minutes to have a bit of a talk about. I haven't finished yet. It will be finished this week. Nier Automata, however you want to say it, but it's Nier Automata. I believe it's Automata.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Automata, yep.
Yeah, wow. What a different game. We played the demo.
Yeah.
You and I and the rest of everyone else that found it on the PlayStation Store. And that gave a good indicator to combat, to its versatility of perspective, where it'd go open plane to 2D to top-down view, or bird's eye view, if you will. And it was all, the camera was just fluent, the way it went and everything like that. So it was a good look into that. It was a good look into the combo structure of the heavy and light weapons. It wasn't a true indicator, though. It was just a taste test, if you will. And then right at the end of the demo, you got to go into the flying, what do they call it? The aerial, what is it? Aerial, it's like a jet.
Yeah.
It's a suit you put on. It's a jet-propelled suit that transforms actually into a jet, or you can go standing and more of a offensive style, like a transformer. And that was just a taste test. Seriously, there was probably about 15 minutes at the start of the game prior to the demo, and the demo is the first level. Me being me, it's like, all right, well, we'll put her on very hard. I died 3 times, probably 15, 20, 25 minutes into it, and it has no autosave. So that's straight back to main menu, start a new game, go through the cutscene, unskippable cutscene at the start, and go again.
Okay.
That wasn't cool.
So it doesn't.
The first hour,
it doesn't save.
No, there's no autosave. No, you got to you remember Final Fantasy VII? We used to save at certain points on the map.
Sure.
That's what this is like. You can only save in specific areas.
Yeah, I know what those kind of games are like, but no, I haven't really played much of Final Fantasy VII, and I think the version.
I thought that was the only one you did.
Well, it is kind of, but I didn't really play it that much. But the version I played is the emulated one on the PS4, which kind of has like extra features.
Oh yeah,
like
where you can save.
Yeah, I think you can save, and I think I just you can put it on fast forward mode too.
Yeah, up the frames.
Yeah.
I used to sticky tape a button on my keyboard. You know, underneath the escape button, it's got the little wavy thing next to the one.
Yeah.
I used to sticky tape that down when I was emulating Pokemon Yellow, because it had run at 180 frames instead of 30, so you can just get through the start hour of game in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, but yeah, with the Final Fantasy VII on the PS4, you could like simulate the fights too. Like you could just press a button and win.
Oh, Bonza?
Yeah, this is
full story mode.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I can dig that for if you want to go back and instead of putting 200 hours in to get the story, it's no different to a Telltale game then, really. Yeah. Just a really long one. So, yeah, this game, Nier, it's hard to describe as a hack and slash, because that's what it is. That's the combat mechanic for about 80% of combat. But there is, you remember the old 1942 game where you take off on the aircraft carriers, the jet, and you get like the top-down view? Yeah, there's a lot of that. And then when the aeroplane transforms, it then goes to a twin-stick shooter.
Oh, so it's variety.
Yeah, lots of variety. So you got the top-down 1942 air battles. Then you've got the twin stick shooter when it transforms. Then you've got hack and slash, and then you've got puzzle solving hacking, and then you've got RPG, open world RPG. Very much RPG. Lots of side missions. A very unique skill tree, which I'll touch on in a second. And also, what's the other? There's another mode. Oh no, it's like some of your boss fights are a variation of all of them, and it just. And I think you'll know from the demo, you had a fight against that really big thing at the end.
Yeah.
That crane, it's just like building size transformer.
Yeah, that looked awesome.
That's a small boss.
Oh right, okay, that's cool.
That's why I think these bosses are on a gigantic proportion, but that's why you get the jet. You know what I mean? Like you can do the ground dodge and hack and slash and take off different bits and pieces of their armor or their weaponry. So bring them down so far in life, and then they'll go into a different phase. And the only way you can combat that is to hit your jet and get up in the air and fly around and fuck them up and everything like that. Oh, so brilliant, so brilliant. And one thing I do want to expand upon really, really quickly too is the hack and slash. Like, you know, you got this game is a cross between Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry.
Okay. Well, one of the big questions I want to ask is, you've said it's got all these different sort of varieties. Does it become a jack of all trades, master of none, or does it do it really well?
No, it does it fantastic.
Oh, that's good to know.
The hack and slash is by far the main component, and that is so empowering. It's so boss. It's so brilliant. Yeah, I was just about to say, you know, you've got your basic combos of like light, heavy, light. So those sort of combinations.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with this one here, you can go touch light, hold light, like touch light, hold light, touch light, and they're all different combinations. If you hold a button for a second as opposed to just pressing it within the sequence, it'll change your combo. You know how you can jump in some games. You do a double jump and power attack, and it comes down and smashes the ground.
Yep.
If you hit your heavy attack halfway up in your jump or just before your second attack, instead of being a double jump, it'll swipe up and then swipe down. It seems like there's a lot of clinical timing. But the game's intuitive enough to know that sometimes you get excited and button mash, and it'll still give you these really kick-ass combos that are just long and exaggerated. Because some of the things, because you're fighting a alien-born robot race, so they can take a bit of a fucking pounding.
Yeah, okay.
And you can put these combos together where you're hitting 100-hit combinations with particle effects and things going fucking pop, fizz and bang, and absolutely brilliant. The only thing I will say that counteracts how good the particle effects and the graphics are is an extreme loss of frame rate when you're doing nothing, running from one area to another, mind you. Not so much in battle, sometimes in battle, but more predominant when you're just going from one place to another. It kind of feels like it's a dropping in frame rate to try and load the next segment of map, if you know what I mean.
Has Weeksy played it yet?
He just started.
Okay, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see if he's had those issues on the Pro.
On the Pro and digital, because he's got digital as well. So there's going to be a few comparisons there, which I will be able to bring up with him. And the other one, as we said with Horizon Zero Dawn, the popping, though every now and again it seems things pop in and out real close to you, which is kind of strange. So there will be a review at AussieGamersExpress.com, because I was very thankful to get my hands on this one before the rest of you guys did, so I'll be reviewing this one because this one's right up my alley. But we're looking at a possible... I've played for 16, 17 hours, and I've done 9% completion.
Yeah, big game then.
Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to touch on, I wanted to emphasise, was the skill tree. You don't actually have a skill tree where you get skill points and spend them and upgrade abilities. Because you're an android, you have a chip in your head, and say there's 20 slots available, and then you go get a buff that says maximum HP is increased. But that takes up 4 slots. So then you put that that power chip inside your memory chip that's in your head, and then you've got 16 slots to go. So there's so many buffs and debuffs that you can buy, create, enhance, and scavenge, and you could create your own preset set, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it kind of sounds a little bit like Horizon Zero Dawn. With the mods.
Yeah. Oh, with the modification. Yeah, exactly. Because you can take them out and put them in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Because then you can tailor yourself to each sort of situation. Though I did feel the Horizon Zero Dawn, once you had 3 good ones in there, you'll never really go back and changing them.
Yeah.
Here, you got 3 slots. So you got 3 presets, slot A, B, and C, where you can make, right, I'm traveling long distances from A to B doing fetch missions, right, I'll put all speed ups in here, and you'll just fucking run heaps fast, you know.
Yeah, okay.
And then the next one is boss battles, so you've got
you can
maximum
switch
HP
between
up.
your presets.
Oh yeah,
Hey, that's good.
that's sick. But it's required because there is so many facets to the game. Right, this is all aerial. Okay, projectile damage is increased. Projectile defense is increased. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
It's sick game. Long-winded. A lot of the side quests that almost feel like a necessity to do are quite long-winded fetch missions.
Yeah.
But as I said, I'm literally 10% through game completion. I reckon I've got a strong feeling I'm probably about 25% way through campaign, because once I grasped how big it really was, I started to gravitate a little bit more towards the campaign, so I could get a greater understanding, so I could bring the review to the page and to the website just a little bit quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of doing that, but this is going to require it, because this is because I know for a fact that there's 3 different endings in this game, so you can play it 3 times, 4 times to try and get the right endings and everything like that. So I'm going to knuckle down. I'm going to get a great concept of what's going on here. Send the disc back to yourself, so we can talk about it in a couple of weeks' time on another show, and then, or whenever you get around to it, because you're a busy boy too. And I'll just download Weeks's digital copy.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so that's Nier. I'll wrap it up there, because you'll probably talk about the other game that I've played, and I'll chime in with you because you've got a better understanding, knowledge, and expertise in that area.
Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh, there! Speaking of which,
yeah, look, been playing mostly Ghost Recon Wildlands this past week, and really getting into it, and I've really got a good understanding of what the game is now, like you mentioned. Now, and I've got to say, it's probably a big negative, but I don't care about this negative. It doesn't make an impact on my enjoyment in the game whatsoever. The storyline, although powerful and impactful, it isn't delivered with any real punch.
gusto. Yeah.
The storyline really, because of the way the game's designed, where you can go wherever you want in the Bolivian map and do whatever you want when you want. So there's, I don't know how many segments there are, but there's quite a few segments within the map where they've got like a head honcho which is running a certain division of the cartel that is run by El Sueno, the big head cheese, right? But because you can do them in any order, there's no, like, it doesn't really give you significant story progression, because it's got to be...
It's not delivered structurally.
Yeah, it's got to be very generic in what's actually happening, because it doesn't know which one you're going to do next. All right, so...
It does it well, though, with those videos.
Yeah, you get the videos every now and then, which is really... They're really the same every time. Oh, you mean the videos that play? Like, you can watch a video?
Yeah, press hold triangle to play, and it basically gives you a background on X person that you're up against in that section and what they do for the cartel and how they were recruited.
Yeah, but those things can be very easily missed, because they pop up in a little sort of window up top left, and you don't even have to press it to watch it. But generally, after you clear an area, you'll get a cutscene, which most of them are exactly the same, kind of reminiscent of The Division, when you're having a chat with that bird in the base of operations.
Fei Lao.
Fei Lao, yeah.
Go do your job. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that, where you'll go and you'll have a chat with somebody in a little, field office and explain what you've just done and all that sort of stuff, and then you move on to the next area. There's no real big explosive cutscenes throughout the game that are going to show any progression, because like I said, the game doesn't know where you're going, what you're doing next, so it kind of needs to keep it in that a little bit generic. But in saying that, I'm really enjoying playing the game this way, though. I don't have to go where it wants me to go. I'm picking, if I feel, right, I've just done a 3 skull area, which is your difficulty, 3 out of 5 or 6. How many skulls are there? 5?
5, yep.
So a 3 skull out of 5 area. Do I feel like a bit of a challenge? I should go do a 5-star? Or do I want to go and do another 3 or 4? You know, you can choose. It's up to you which areas you go to. I'm kind of doing it slow and systematically, which is a little bit different to my usual. Normally I would just go and smash out the main missions, but the way I'm playing it at the moment is that I've finished 4 segments of the map 100%. So all collectibles, all
missions
main...
included.
Yeah, missions included.
Yep.
So done
Brilliant.
all the main missions, done all the collectibles, and then moved on to the next one, and that's what I've been doing. A nice, slow, systematic progress through the game, and I'm so not tired of it. I enjoy flying the helicopters. I enjoy trying different ways to do the missions. I've started mixing it up and thought, I'm going to see how cheeky I can be, and I'm just going to skydive. Like, there's little side missions where you got to steal a helicopter. You know those ones, the medical kit, medical supplies.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, look, normally I would go in, recon, mark everyone, take them all down, take the helicopter. And I thought, I wonder how cheeky I can be. I'm going to jump out of a helicopter, skydive in, land right next to the helicopter, get in it and steal it and see if it works. It did work. What worked in my favour is it because I was playing single player and I had 3 other, like the AI teammates with me, who all skydived in. As I've landed, they've started taking fire and giving fire, so the enemies focused on them and ran away from the helicopter. So there was me, boom, landed right next to the helicopter, because I'm not bad with the parachute controls. Landed right next to the bloody thing, did a bit of a barrel roll, went straight for the driver's seat, jumped in, took off. It took me about...
See you later.
10 seconds. And I had the side mission complete, which was really cool. So yeah, it's so many different ways you can do things, and it's so much fun regardless of whether you're playing it on your own or with actual friends. And that's something I was a little bit worried about with this game, with Wildlands, is that I thought that it was going to be a little bit boring playing it on your own. The game is just as capable and enjoyable on your own as it is with 3 mates playing. So, don't
Especially
worry.
when you're clearing.
Yeah, it's really cool. Now, look, there's some specific tips that I'd like to give out, which I'm not going to go through all of my tips, but I've put up a post on the Aussie Games Express website, www.aussiegamersexpress.com, and I've got a few tips on there that I've found that have made my life a lot easier in playing the game, that if you want to go and check out, or if you're new to it, go and have a look at them. They might be helpful. And I'll give you a bit of an example. Take a dive, Red. If somebody's about to see you, more often than not, if you go prone, they're not going to be able to see you, especially helicopters.
Yes.
So that's a good tip there. So if you're about to get busted, just lay down on your guts, whether it be because video games, or if you want to think of it in a role-playing sense, you've got grass cover, you've got a lower profile, and all those things make it harder for you to be seen. So just lay down on your stomach.
Yeah.
Another tip, we don't need roads where we are going. The GPS in the game will often make you follow roads. Take notice of where the roads are taking you, because more often than not, you can literally just go straight off the edge of a hill and you're there, rather than going meandering around 1,000 streets. You just go off-road. There is nothing wrong with going off-road, and we coined a phrase last night. We've been using it for a while, but we gave it a bit of attention last night. We're calling it Skyrimming. Skyrim.
Yes.
To Skyrim, and this is the definition we're going to offer up to Oxford. To Skyrim is to climb a mountain when obvious roads are available, and also quicker, but to get from point A to point B. So just go off-road, climb up mountain. Sometimes it's ridiculous to Skyrim places, you need to use the roads, but yeah, more often than not in Wildlands, if you just go and bush bash a bit, whether in a car, a motorbike or on foot, you can get places a lot quicker than following roads. There you go.
That's also very relevant for Horizon Zero Dawn. You could do that really well in that as well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Just saying.
But yeah, so those tips are up on the website if you want to go and check out the other ones. If you've got any more tips, send them through to us. I think I made a promise in there that if you do that, we'll send you a little gift in reply. So there's information on the website on how to send us your tips, and if we update it and use it, you'll get a little something back in return. But yeah, so that's what I've mainly been playing. I streamed a little bit of it last night.
Yeah, to Facebook.
I did, yep, and got myself my record 502-meter sniping shot. It's not the best. I know it's not the best, but it's my best.
Half a kilometre.
And I was amazed by it. I thought it was awesome. So every now and then I'm going to have a couple of sessions where I'm going to try and make it better and get longer shots, and I'll try and stream those as well. And we'll see what kind of shots we can do. Well, what we can try and do is we got a good tip last night, because I was thinking, like, how do you get, like, once you're getting up to about 500-600 meters, like, they start to despawn and you can't really see anything. Yeah. But if you send a player down a lot closer, if you're in multiplayer co-op, you get your player, like a friend, to go closer, and their proximity will keep it loaded in memory. So they'll be there. You might not be able to see them very well, but you can at least use them as a spotter to tell them where your shots are going. The only thing is, though, once you've hit a missed shot, they just scramble, so it makes it really hard. You kind of need to nail it first go.
Throw the challenge down. Get someone to submit theirs. We want video proof. We'll feature it, and then we'll try and beat it.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a good idea. Yep, if you want us to try and beat your score, or you want to show off how good your long shot is, send it through to us. Send us a video. Make it obvious. Can you see usernames? Yeah, go into the start menu so we can see it's your username. Not the start menu, you know what I mean, like in the menu.
Yeah. Top right hand corner.
You do well. Obviously, you want to do your long shot. Oh, well, if people have already done the shot, they're probably not going to do it again. Maybe they can just send us a screenshot.
Yeah, 6 one, half a dozen the other. You send the video, we'll still feature it. You send the photo, we'll feature it.
Yeah,
if you just want to, it's just that interaction and challenge us to try and beat it.
Yeah,
we'll try and beat you.
Working this out on the fly, but yes, if you get a video, so if you get the long shot, just go into your what do you call it? Your menu where it shows your character. Yep. If you're on PlayStation 4, it's easy to do. Xbox is a little bit trickier. Just so that comes up in the video, and it's good evidence there, just so you've got proper bragging rights and nobody can say you're lying. Or a screenshot of your statistics screen, which shows you what your highest, longest shot is and all that sort of stuff. So do that, and we'll have some fun with it.
Yep.
Moving on, Snoper. Lots of sniping. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. Patrick Snoogans went and spent some time with the development team last week and actually had an interview with one of the guys doing the development. I don't actually have his name. I apologise for that. Maybe Snoogans might be able to clarify
Christopher Walken's Jr.
It sounded a bit like you, didn't it? I thought I was the only one, because I was thinking, geez, it's really slight, so it's not very much like Christopher Walken, but I thought that too, but I didn't say anything because it was only very minor. I didn't want to sound
that
like
1 mile shot was crazy.
All right, you guys could. We're going to play the interview for you in a minute, so you guys can make up your own mind. If Snoogans actually just interviewed Christopher Walken. And if he did, we'll find out if he asked him about his ass watch. Your father kept this ass watch in his ass. Oh dear. All right, let's have a listen to that interview now, and we'll have a chat afterwards.
Hey guys.
Nice to see you, mate. Thanks a lot for letting us come along tonight.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's great fun. It's good. Good to get in and have a go at something a bit early and see how it is. We're predominantly console guys, so we didn't get to have a try of the beta, whatnot. So it's good to actually finally get some hands on and just see how far the tech's come. The story itself for Ghost Warrior 3 is set in Georgia. So is there any particular reason why? Like, what was the...
So there's a couple of reasons actually why we chose Georgia. The first and biggest one was that, you know, this is a country that has seen conflict in fairly recent history. So as far back as close back as 2008. So we didn't want to recreate an actual conflict in the game, but we did feel like this would resonate well with the story and the gameplay that we're trying to show off here in the game. So this is one of the reasons. The other one is that, well, not many games and movies have actually used Georgia as a setting.
It's very
it's pretty different. It's pretty exotic. You know, it's got those even Middle Eastern influences in it. So we thought like this would, and it allowed us to create different, like, varying environments. So like this first map that you guys are playing right now is like a snowy mountain range. But because we divided the entire world into 3 maps, it allowed us to create 3 different environments. Like, they look different, they play different, they feel different. So one is more industrial setting centered around a mining facility, and another one is it's more rural. I can't tell you much about it because we're just going to be showing it off. But yeah, it's like three different maps. And Georgia is so diverse that it allowed us to create it and feel authentic.
And what sort of challenges did you find when actually creating those different ranges, whether it be a stormy time or...
Well, actually the biggest challenge was to create a system where this would change dynamically, because it's fairly easy to create beautiful looking weather when it's always the same timeline. But if you want to make it that it's not, you know, every day is different, then that's the hard part. And to make it look good, because it's a bunch of effects coming together, and you got to make sure that every combination works. Like it doesn't obscure too much of the vision, that the effects look good, and the lighting matches with what's happening on the screen. So that was a challenge, but I think it's, you know, it's come on pretty well. And in design, the hardest part was making it so actually that's one of the things that we're going to have different in the final game, because right now you have to choose the missions in the safe house, but you got to actually physically put the laptop in there, choose the missions. In final game you can choose them on the fly. So the hard part was to make everything run and, you know, all the mission logic be fine and without bugs, with all the mission changing and mission acquisition, with the prisoner rescuing on the side. So making it all work together, that was really hard. Plus, you know, all the open world elements, the points of interest, the question marks on the map. So making it all run at the same time, it was very challenging.
Did you have people who are actually trained snipers come on board?
Yeah, we've had actually one of our lead programmers is an avid sniper. And we've had a bunch of professional snipers come into the studio. They came with weapons, so we had a chance to actually handle them, and some of us even went to the shooting range to do some actual shooting. But the professional snipers gave us a crash course on ballistics, on tactics, on how to handle your weapon. Like, you can't hold it by the scope, like how you actually walk with the weapon, how you crouch, how you crawl with the weapon. We put some of that in the game, but we felt like we can't do all of it. Like, we can't go full simulation, because that would be impossible. That would be pure...
It's a very niche sort of area.
Super niche, yes. So it's pretty realistic. Like, it's still not pure simulation, but like it's a one-shot kill. So the realistic mode that you have in the demo is not the final product, but in the game, the realistic mode is like your health is basically one shot, one kill, unless you have armor, which then you can do like 2 or 3 shots. The enemies are a bit more perceptive. You have very little HUD helpers, so if you do scout mode, like the sniper vision with the left bumper, the enemies are not highlighted. You're still going to get like the ledges that you can climb, but you know it's not going to highlight your enemies. There's very little ammo. You got to scavenge for crafting parts. You got to craft your own ammo because if you use trading goods, the in-game currency, it's all going to be very expensive. So it's better to craft your own bullets, which you can do in the safe house.
I just crafted a whole lot of explosive rounds.
All right, they're niche use, but they, you know, because you can't, like, even if you shoot them silenced, they're still going to explode, and everybody's going to be alerted. But they pack a punch.
The Barrett, 50 cal. Have you been?
We have not had the occasion to shoot a 50 cal.
No?
Unfortunately, I wish we did. But yeah, most of the 50 cal. I mean, these people did shoot 50 cal.
Yeah.
The guys who came into the office. We as developers didn't have the opportunity to shoot one.
Yeah. Probably better use your arm for a little while.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Like I watched the YouTube videos. These guys looked. I mean, the Barrett. I think it's got like. So the barrel actually is like telescopic.
Yeah, it's
like it goes in. No, it looks pretty awesome. Like it will take down a tree in half.
Yeah. And you're saying in this build there's you should stand a sniper rifles, but in the final there is the 50 cal. So you can
yes,
go
there's a bunch of 50 cals and the bullet cams. So the slow-mo fly-through with the bullet, if you do a headshot, it changes depending on the caliber. So shooting a 50 cal is going to have a different effect than shooting a light rifle.
Differences working in the current generation?
Well, you got a lot more horsepower.
Yeah.
You know, you can do a lot more visual stuff. Plus, you can create bigger worlds because you have a lot more memory. So you can have a lot more different stuff because you know in the old gen you could have many instances of the same thing in the world, but different things. It gets tricky. So yeah, I don't know if we would have been able to create an open world game on a previous gen. Yeah. This one is going.
It seems to be the flavor.
Right. Yeah. It does. It does seem like everybody's going open world. I do feel, however, that for this kind of game, a sniper game, it was kind of the natural way it had to go, because if you're a sniper, you don't get all the intel. Like you don't get, hey, here is a sniping point where you will take your guy out from. Like you got to find it yourself. You got to walk around the environment, look where you want to shoot from. And I think that's where the open world game comes in.
I assume going with that you have pretty much free reign on how you do things.
Yeah.
Where you go about doing them.
Exactly. That was like the motto, like the mission statement of this game. Like you got an objective, but how you go about it, up to you.
All right, so that was the interview there about Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, and good interview. Well done, Pat. Thanks for doing that for us, Snoo. So we found out some things like the setting is in Georgia, which is cool. And he said there were 3 maps, but I think he only made comment on 2. Is that? Do you remember?
I know he resisted commenting on a specific setting.
Yeah, because
he did say that there was 3 maps, and they're only here showing the one at the moment.
Yeah, because he said there was one that was based on mining, there was one that was more rural, and then he said, but I don't want to go into that too much.
Yeah. And then the forest, obviously, you've played the beta.
Yeah, so and there's definite day-night cycles, which is that's I think a given these days in big open world games. They need to have weather mechanics and day-night cycles.
It was cool how he commented on it with the variables of the time cycle, like the day cycle plus a dynamic weather cycle. He said it's very easy to create a dynamic weather cycle when it's only one time a day.
Yes.
But when you've got to try and incorporate a 24-hour watch or a day, and then incorporate the variables of a dynamic weather, he said that was a little bit of a challenge, which is really cool to hear, because we don't know the complexity of dynamics within computer-generated environments. So that was really cool to hear.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be able to do absolutely... Like, I couldn't do one line of code in a video game, and how they manage all that shit, I don't know. But they're smart people, and they make awesome games. And this one looks really good. Now, I wasn't there myself when Snoogans went and actually played the game early when he went down and did that interview. But I have played the closed beta that was on previous to that, and it looks good for what I've seen so far. The game has been delayed to the end of April rather than the beginning of April. There obviously was some issues that was brought up in the beta testing. It's exactly what beta testing is for, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. How about Pat? Oh, we're a Quake console predominant, so we haven't had a chance to play the beta. AussieGamersExpress.com. First impressions of beta on PC.
Yes, exactly. Good one, Pat. I was thinking that, but anyway, I think he forgets that I exist and the work I do sometimes. Old Pat, man, he got too much going on.
All this brilliance and editing and posting and streaming just happens, man. Welcome to my world. I answer a fucking phone call.
Do you reckon Pat's on Skype at the moment?
Oh, fucking hit him up.
Let's hit him up. See if he answers. There we go.
Hey.
Oh.
Go.
Hey.
Hey, go. Hey, go.
No. If he answers on his phone, it'll be alright. Alright. We'll keep going. I don't know if he's going to answer or not. If he does, he'll just go, hey, hello. And there's crafting ammo, which is cool, which is, I think, I've mentioned in the past, where you can make up your ammo. What are you laughing at?
He goes, the developer fellow goes, oh, and there's lots of crafting on the fly because that's the most efficient way of doing it, because you can buy it from traders, but it's really expensive. So salvaging and scavenging is a predominant aspect of it, which made it sound like it was a little bit more difficult sort of game, which is cool for me. And then Pat goes, oh yeah, I crafted heaps of explosive ammo. And the dude turns around and goes, well, you know, even if you're shooting it with a silencer, it still explodes. And then the enemies, they know.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, it's a silent shot, but the explosive rounds are going to blow up, aren't they?
Pat goes, I made 300 of them.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. All right. Look, we'll move on. No answer from Pat, unfortunately. Next thing on... What's that?
He's a busy man.
He's a busy man. He's doing his thing. Utomic is the game streaming service on PC that I've been talking about the past few weeks. I've played a few more games on that, which is really cool, and I found some shit too.
That's like those CDs back in the day, your CD-ROMs, 101 games in one. Yeah, about 3 games and 80 variations of the rest.
Yeah, but anyway, I played a game called Meltdown. That's actually a pretty cool game. I don't mind that at all. It's like an isometric top-down twin-stick shooter sort of game there, which was pretty neat. It felt like a real arcadey kind of game. I enjoyed playing that one. I also tried Ethan Media Hunter. It's a game that I've known about since like back in the PS3 times, but never played it. It's okay, but it's weird.
Not brilliant.
It's not brilliant, yeah. Platformer where you can manipulate blocks, move them around with a magical hand, which I don't really know why, but because video games, I guess.
Yeah.
There was another game called... What is it? It's like Gumo or something? Hang on, let me... Can I click on it? Yeah, there we go. Gomo, it's called. Gomo. It's like a... Have you ever played a game?
Yeah.
No, it's...
Only on easy, though.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a point-and-click adventure game, but it's really... Another really strange game. Very, very indie. And you're like this weird potato sack looking thing. And...
Oh, okay.
you just point and click adventure thing. It's really all it is. You know, you wake up in a bed, you've got to find a key, get out of the room, and then I found myself in a room with a toilet. I wonder, and he did a poo.
Oh, yay! 5 out of 5.
Yeah, but because it's like a 2D side scroller thing, you know, it's like a cross section of the houses and stuff you're in. You could actually see underneath the toilet, and you see the poo.
Oh
drop.
wow!
You see it drop.
Oh wow! So like this War of Mine.
Yeah, that kind of perspective. Yeah.
Cross section. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Gomo, weird game, but not terrible. There was another one I played called the Whispered World. Oh, I can't read the writing's like all fancy. It's the Whispered World. Hang on, I'll just click a bloody thing here to get rid of this so I can see it. Yeah, the Whispered World Special Edition. That is strange. Kind of like, what's that, King's Quest?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but, like, B grade?
Philo brand.
Yeah, it is, yeah. So, but I've played those games, but I did find... But that's the thing, like, if you play 4 or 5 games in a session and get 1 gem out of it, that's pretty cool. Because that Meltdown
$10
game...
a month, mate.
Yeah, that's right. That Meltdown game was great. I liked that. That was really cool. I'd go back to that one. But, yeah, so I want to put in a few more games for next week and talk about it again. It gives us good content, but there's some good stuff there. And I'm not picking, like, the games I know on here. You know, I'm not playing the ones I know of and I know are decent. I'm trying to find gems. Gems in the rough is what I'm doing. So I'm playing strange-looking games to... Because you can. Like, there's no limit. You just go and play whatever you want on there. So.
Well, while we're on the subject, I know we'll cut it down a little bit, but we've got a predetermined shout in the chamber ready to fire off later.
Yeah.
But while we're on the topic of Utomic, Martin Creamers has jumped on board and taken everything you've said as gospel and decided to give it a go. He's doing his free trial. So he's posted actually... post to the Facebook page itself. So if I can quickly really just give him a individual shout out here, because he also names a game that people might want to try if they've got it. So he goes, so I've grabbed the free Utomic trial. Got to say, it's got a lot of good games that you can sink 5 to 10 minutes into here and there. If you haven't tried it yet, give Mechanic Escape a go. A slightly easier version of Super Meat Boy. So a quick little shout out there for taking Luke's advice, or Aussie Gamers Express's advice. And there's a game out. He's just recommended a game for anyone that's got their hands on it already. So there you go.
Well, there you go. You just saved me the effort. I actually did notice that and was going to mention, but I won't now.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's good. You said it better. You said it better, brother. All right, so that was Utomic there. Good stuff, and I'm going to give that Mechanic Escape go. That'll be the next game I try. Moving on, Snoogans and I last week went down to Chatswood in Sydney and had a look at a few new products from ROCCAT. There was a bit of a launch party there, which was really cool. Thank you very much to Amber and Jeremy specifically. And what they were launching is not so much a product specifically, more so something they're putting into their product range. Now, there was new products, but it's a thing called ROCCAT Owli, like as in owl, the bird of prey, I guess you would call it. And yeah, what it is like a super high quality pointer mouse. You know, like remember the good old days when mice had balls in them?
Oh, the tumble balls, yeah.
Fucking best thing that happened to mice was getting rid of those and putting in lasers. So that was really cool. So this Owli is a new laser technology, which basically gives you 1-for-1 accuracy. What they're claiming is their new leader, the ROCCAT Leader mouse, is the world's first. This is a big-ass claim. Big-ass claim. And we were talking about this on the day. The ROCCAT Leader, which is LEADR, is the world's first wireless gaming mouse that truly delivers the performance of a wired device, offering zero lag, zero latency.
Wow. No offense, like I love you boys and everything like that. They're making these claims and they've got a launch party with you guys there. Why isn't NASA there?
Yeah. Well, I said this is the comment I made on the day to them. I said, look, not necessarily referring to myself. I'm not a fantastic super duper gamer guy, but you know how like with the frame rates, the professionals and eye doctors and shit say that anything above 60 frames a second isn't actually registered by the human eye.
Mm.
Zero lag sounds fantastic, but can we even really notice like real super slight lag?
I don't know. If even if you can't, they've got a wicked marketing tool there anyway, because all those memes that get around that you died because of lag and latency and shit like that, well,
yeah,
they could slot straight in as advertisement there where you will not be killed by latency, but you will be killed by skill.
Well, that's it. But yeah, look, so they're putting it. They're like rehashing their older designs, like the Luke one. There's a mouse called the Luke one. Oh no, it's just Coney.
Oh.
K-O-N-E.
Coney.
Coney. Coney. K-O-N-E. I thought it had L-E-W in front of it. Pat was saying something about it on the day. He's going, this is the Luke 1 mouse. Anyway. So yeah, the cone is rehashed with it, and coming out with the owl eye. I used it and it felt good. I played what's that game? CS:GO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still shit, but I can't. I don't know if I'd maybe
it wasn't latency.
But yeah, it took away that argument for me. But I did complain that the leader is a right-handed mouse.
Wow.
I'm left-handed, so
that's your go-to.
I know. I love the fact that I'm left-handed.
I was about to say all their hardware's getting this new leader technology, so all their hardware's getting the PS4 Pro patch.
That's right. So yeah, look, that was a good fun day. So thanks again to the ROCCAT team and King Creative for inviting us along to that one. That was good fun. Lastly, that I want to go through is I did some home surgery on my computer.
Ah, yes.
I ripped off the heatsink and found that the thermal paste was no longer paste, it was thermal crust. So apparently after 5 or 6 years that stuff dries out and doesn't really do a good job anymore, which is why my computer sounded like a jet engine. So ripped it out, cleaned it up, replaced it with some of this, what's it called? Let me have a look. Arctic Silver. And it comes in like a syringe, which is basically the size of your little finger. $15. That's how much that's cost. $15. God damn, this thing's more expensive than gold. That might not necessarily be true.
More applicable though.
Yeah, but anyway, well, it's actually silver, so maybe not quite gold, but the same, maybe the same price as silver, because it's like 99.99% like silver. And the reason why it's so expensive and the reason why you need to use it is this silver stuff is a highly conductive material. Do you know why we have to use thermal paste between a CPU and a heatsink? Do you know what it does?
Does it stop it from melting together?
No, that's not true. But not okay. Not a bad guess. What it actually is now, not saying that you should have known, because I didn't know, but because I've done this application, I've done a little bit of research on it and learnt about it. What it is, like, you've got your CPU and the top of the CPU, which is metal. Now the CPU gets really, really hot because it's doing a lot of things in a small area. And what a heatsink does is the heatsink draws the heat out of that small area and makes it a bigger area, so the heat dissipates, right? And this heatsink is like chopped up, so it's aerated, so it can be air cooled, and then the fan sitting on top of it blows that hot air away. Now, what this thermal paste does is basically makes the the heatsink and the CPU act like it's one piece. Okay, so if you get one piece of metal and another piece of metal and put them on top of each other, at a microscopic level, they're not sitting flush with each other. No matter how flat it is, the metal is porous, right?
Yeah.
So and it's never going to be completely flat. So there's going to be portions of the heatsink that isn't actually sitting on the CPU. It's going to be like less than a hair's distance away.
But still, you can't transfer any heat or electricity through it. That's
right. That distance is going to be is going to cause like an air pocket, microscopic air pocket. But that means that yes, the heat's not going to transfer through to the heatsink properly, and that's where the thermal paste comes in. You squirt a little bit of thermal paste between them, and that thermal paste, because it's high conductive properties, which means heat will go through it super easy, it sort of fills those gaps and means that it's got a perfect flush connection with the heatsink, so the heat can get drawn out of the CPU properly and into the heatsink and blown away by the CPU fan. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There you go. So when it dries up, it obviously loses its properties that it needs, and it's necessary to change. So I've done that, and I reckon I've halved the RPMs of my CPU fan when at idle, which means that it's going to be a lot quieter, and everything's going to run a little bit cooler and more efficient, and you're not necessarily going to hear it through the podcast every week. So there you go. I did that. That was cool. That was like I learnt some things as well, and I like learning about computers and all that sort of stuff. And that was a bit of fun, and it worked, which is always a good payoff. But that's all I've got to share for this week. Anything else, Red?
That's fine. Yeah, one more thing.
Yeah,
I've been playing a new game on my mobile on Android. Not sure if it's available on Apple. I haven't looked yet. It's called Not Another Freaking Mobile Game, and it's Family Guy's interpretation of Candy Crush.
Okay, not another mobile game.
Not another. The icon title is Family Guy. When you go into it, it says not another freaking mobile game. And instead of collecting candies, you collect condoms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for Quagmire. Yeah. It's got all the game modes of Candy Crush, but there's a few variations in there which keeps it kind of original too. So yeah, pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, it's on iOS. It's Family Guy, another freaking mobile game.
Yeah, that's it. It's very early, so the notifications still have a little bit of coding and stuff in them and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know, I just must have come across it on Facebook, I reckon, and I've gone, oh, look, Family Guy. And it's licensed. I'll have a look. And yeah, about 50 levels deep.
Oh, there you go. I'll give that a go too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to video game news, Red. All right, first up in the news, Red, tell us about Guardians of the Galaxy voice actors.
Yeah, something I forgot to allude to when I was giving you my headlines. The Telltale game. Ta-da! That we do know is coming.
Okay, yeah.
So, in a nutshell, we got some confirmation of the voice actors that are portraying the main cast. So, really quickly, here we go. Scott Porter from Friday Night Lights and The Walking Dead, the Telltale series, as Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Emily O'Brien, The Young and Restless and Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, as Gamora. Nolan North from, I've never heard of these games before, Uncharted, as ROCCAT. Brendan Paul Earls from Watch Dogs as Drax, and Adam Harrington, The Wolf Among Us and League of Legends as Groot. League of Legends, because they only say one thing at a time too. Cool. So, yeah, I just thought it was pretty cool that Noel North was in there, so I grabbed that news, and I thought you'd like it, you'd appreciate it also.
Yeah, nice.
But the only other update I can give you is the first episode is slated for this autumn on console, PC, and mobile devices. And the series will also be coming to retail as a special season pass disc. So the first episode will be in autumn, the second episode will be next autumn, with the third and fourth episode to come in 3 summers' time.
That's the thing that always pisses me off about these games is... And why I never really want to get into them, but we got like a review code for The Walking Dead, season 3.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes were out. I played them. I've forgotten about what even happened now. How long ago was that?
Oh, last year?
It was last year. I don't remember now. They take too long to come out. This episodic thing works if it's regular and soon enough. But every episode 6 months apart? That's stupid. It pisses me off.
I'll tell you something that I've just recently got, and I've got it all in one hit, but it was released episodic, and I was awfully critical of it back in the day, but it actually really did work, was Hitman.
Yeah.
That was, from all reports, that really worked, and they had a release schedule for all of them, and there was 6 DLCs.
Yeah.
And each DLC added a lot of replayability to the ones previous.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I don't have anything against episodic games because Resident Evil Revelations 2 was episodic, but that
hit regularly, eh?
It did, yeah. I think it was like a weekly thing, wasn't it? Was it fortnightly?
Fortnight, I believe. Yeah.
But it worked. That's the Telltale have always been absolutely horrible with it. They either delay it or they just take too long, and they're not changing anything with that. It's stupid.
And the worst part is they're nicely polished games. Like, there's a couple of screenshots available too, if you want to go Google them. There's a couple of screenshots available, and it looks really, really fantastic.
Yeah, their games are fantastic. There is absolutely no criticism on the game itself, but just their ability to release them in time to keep interest flowing and to give you a good reason to go and buy the season pass and not just wait for every episode to come out. Because that, like, honestly, for me as a consumer, if I had to pay money for it, I'm not buying these games on their own anymore. And by the time the whole game is released, so I can play the whole game, they're on special anyway. So why would anyone, other than absolute super duper fans, fanatics, why would anyone buy them episodically? Yeah, just episodically done bad. That's what bloody Telltale Games is to me.
Yeah, that's why I a bit of tongue in cheek. I'll pull the piss because I think it is a joke. But something of this, you'd think though, the push from Disney and Marvel, or Disney, that there'd be some solid concrete information on a release schedule, but no, still not. So. We'll wait and see. Well, you give it, as you said, it'll be on special when it all comes out, or you give it 6 weeks and episode 1 will be free anyway. So
yeah, that's it. But anyway,
moving on.
Next bit of news is Quake Champions update.
Yeah, so we've been bringing it for ages and ages. We've been touching on the fact that there's a new Quake game coming, and is it going to be PC only, and ... Still no confirmation as to whether it be PC only, but given what I know, and given that we've been doing this for a long, long time, and given probably the information I'm about to give you, Luke, you'll come to the same summation. I think it's going to be PC only. But it'll have 2 options now, not unlike your other MOBAs and stuff like, because this is going to be a competitive game, like your League of Legends and shit like that. So there's going to be free to play, and there's going to be pay to play. Not a pay to win per se, but a pay to play. So free play is not unlike League of Legends. You get in, you get your heroes, your selection of heroes, and you'll go and play in a competitive arena and just blow shit up, Quake style, which is really, really cool too. Don't get me wrong, from the videos I've seen and everything like that, it looks pretty fucking cool. But got no PC to run it, so I'm going to have to rely on the gospel of others.
I'll tell you about it, 'cause I'll try it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's in-game currency, which can be earned or bought. Can be earned, but cannot be purchased with real money.
Okay, good.
There are loot crates, not unlike your Rocket League and your CS:GO, but they're called reliquaries, and they require in-game funds to unlock, not keys, so not bought keys at this stage. So that's really cool, and that can contain anything from new champions to new skins. So there will, and as I said, there will be a pay to play. So you'll unlock all warriors, most of the skins except for unique and exotic and added ones later on down the track, and availability to the game's entire contents and not waiting on like a rotation scale like your League of Legends and everything like that, or Dota. I don't know which one it is really, but I know they run like on a this month these 20 characters can be played for free, or you can pay $5.95 and have this character available to you the whole time, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So and free to play players that then go on to buy the full game will share the same maps and complete in the same brackets as the pay to play. So pay to play is a different competitive ranked play as opposed to free to play, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you won't get your pay to play guys with the complete roster list coming back and just fighting the people in the free to play, because obviously, not unlike other MOBAs that I've touched on, everyone's going to have their own like special abilities, strengths and weaknesses. So it's going to stop the guys that pay come in and say, right, well, the 5 characters they get to pick from in the free to play are weak against this one specific character, and then you get a whole team of that specific character going in and just making the experience unbearable for the free to play players.
Yeah.
Good concept. Great concept.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'll give it a go. It's very unlikely that it's going to be something I get stuck into, but I'll give it a go and report back on it. All right, next bit.
All right, I've got two bits of news for the Nintendo Switch, so I'm just going to go and put them all both into one.
All right, tell us about the Nintendo Switch update.
It has sold more than 1.5 million consoles worldwide.
Now, I'm not real good with these statistics. Is that a lot? Like, I know it's a lot.
Yeah, considering Microsoft, Xbox One have sold just under 10 million from day one.
Oh, shit, yeah, so that is a lot.
Yes, and PlayStation, remember we done those stats here a little while ago? And PlayStation was up over 50 million. So 50 million pre-10s in the Xbox One S, the One S, the entire range.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Switch has sold already, 15% of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
In a week.
Yeah, that's
good.
A bit. That is big. When you put it like that, that is big. Well, that's cool. It's been a lot of problems with the Switches, eh? Like, a lot of people complaining about it.
It's got a few issues, even to the very homegrown bloody Facebook pages, your buy and sell pages. You know, you've got and they're localised to an area.
Yeah.
Even the one here in Tassie and Northwest, even the smallest quadrant of Tassie, has its own buy, swap and sell page. Not a lot goes on there, but there's a lot of people in there trying to start conversation and complaining about different things that have happened with the Switch and everything like that. So it's not like it's the PlayStation had the dicky HDMI port, and the problem I had where the hard drive was pretty fucked from the factory. Like that was really like 1% of consoles, or 0.1% of consoles had the HDMI problem, and pretty much the same with the hard drive problem. There's been a lot of problems going around about the Switch in a higher percentage.
Yeah, well, look, some of the issues I've seen is people if you put the Joy-Cons on the little accessory thing that gives you like the shoulder buttons, if you put the wrist strap,
no connectivity.
Yeah, if you put it back if you put it on the wrong way, it locks on and you can't get it off.
And even if you put it on the right way, you can lose connection to the console itself.
Yeah, there's been issues with connections. There's been issues with the docks scratching the screens, because the screen's apparently plastic, not glass. Have you seen the dock and what the dock is actually constructed of?
Not in real life, but looking at it, is it plastic?
It's literally a plastic shell, a hollow plastic shell with a small little box inside that obviously just transfers wires and all that sort of stuff. It is the cheapest, most horrible looking thing that I've seen.
Wow.
It looks like rubbish. But why? They need to get rid of that, the bit at the front of it that covers the screen.
Yeah, just get rid of that.
Just get rid of that. Why does it need to be there? Like, I understand it's the concept of it that now you're not using that screen. It's on the TV because it's in the dock. But just remove that out of the design and just have it maybe lean back a little bit to sit comfortably in the dock and click in and have it that way. Like, there's no reason for that big bit of plastic to be there. It's just scratching the screen. It's not necessary. People have been forced to do like makeshift fixes by putting microfiber around the plastic there, but even that's not really recommended because that could make things worse. But anyway, there's been issues surrounding it, and I don't know, there's 1.5 million hardcore fans out there. Look, I like Nintendo, but Nintendo Switch has nothing on offer for me right now. I'm gonna go pick up Breath of the Wild on Wii U in a few weeks' time once I've gotten through some of the games that I've got at the moment to get through. But,
speaking of which, 89% of Switch buyers purchased Breath of the Wild, so that's 1.34 million copies of that have been sold to date as well.
Yeah, and the rest of them got yelled at by their kids for not getting the game they actually wanted.
Bomberman, Jesus.
Yeah, Bomberman. I don't want one to Switch, Mom!
So Nintendo's I want Tetris! So Nintendo's aim was to ship 2 million consoles by the end of March, and looks like they're about there.
Yeah, I reckon.
So just to really quickly break it down, 500,000 went to the US, 360,000 went to Japan, 85 in the UK, and 110,000 in France and Australia make up the rest with fuck all. We didn't even sell enough to register on these facts.
Yeah, that's it. Oh well, we're still the arsehole of the world when it comes to the video game industry.
Yeah, and really quickly, just to polish off the Nintendo news, there's been complaints coming out that, for instance, you can buy Rime on the Xbox One, the PS4 for $50, but on the Switch, and this is Australian dollars, on the Switch it's $80. And not so different is the Puyo Tetris is $70 on the PS4, but $80 on the Switch. Who is going to pay $70 for fucking Tetris? Just let's start with that.
Horizon Zero Dawn was $79.
What's the... Fuck yeah, there you go. Shit, I didn't even look at it like that. But that fucking game, that Crazy Towers or Tipsy Towers or whatever it was, PS Plus game, that's fucking Tetris. Oh, yeah. Wow. Anyway, so to really, really quickly to surmise, the developers from Rime have come out and to try and justify this because it's not actually their fault. So the discrepancy is brought about by the fact that the Switch game cartridges aren't a Blu-ray disc, so there's not just one price fits all, because they range from 1 gigabyte to 32 gigabytes, right?
Yeah.
And then there's also supply and demand, how many they need to print. So say you X amount, say $100,000, you need to do 1,000 of them, and it's $100 a unit. Because if you're going to make 1 million of them, say, or 1.5 million of them, like Breath of the Wind, you're going to get bulk, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. But for an indie developer that is come across to the Switch and Switch are trying to bolster their game library, or Nintendo are trying to bolster their game library by accommodating for the Switch and everything like that, for accommodating for the indie games, like that, it's become a lot more expensive for these companies to make their games available. So it could be a catch-20 sort of situation, because, look, we live in a privileged world. Yeah. As you said, if you want to Switch, you'll go get one, but you've got the Wii U at the moment. But that's not to mention that we just talked about your PC that can run games very well, in my opinion. You've got a couple of Xboxes and a couple of PlayStation 4s. Are you going to pay something? You're going to pay an extra 45% to 60% for a game so you can just have the luxury of playing it on your Switch when you can play it on either of your other consoles and probably get it for 50% less on your PC?
Hell no.
No. So you're not going to pay $80. So in a nutshell, you're not going to pay $80 for a game that you can get on special or quite regularly for $30.
But with Nintendo consoles, if they had the same game, let's say that Ghost Recon Wildlands came out on the Switch, I'm still probably not going to get it on the Switch.
Skyrim.
The Nintendo consoles for me are all about the exclusives. They're just not there for third-party games.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So
while we're on Nintendo, before we nick off out of this segment, you know the whole thing about the Switch games tasting funny, the little cartridges.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of videos on that. Yeah.
No, I was thinking, I wonder if Nintendo have done this before and nobody ever noticed.
I don't know. What makes you think of this?
Because I've got a 3DS game in my hand.
Oh, lick it.
That's what I'm thinking. I'll do that now. I've got Nintendo 3DS Pilot Wings Resort, an official licensed game. I'm going to give it a lick. Do you reckon? We'll see. Hang on, give me a sec.
Nutty. There's a hint of cumin and coriander.
That actually tastes quite nice.
It tastes quite nice.
Yeah.
Do not edit that.
So much that I can't speak properly. That actually tastes really nice, but that may be a little bit of jam or something on there. No, I can officially say that they didn't do it to Pilot Wings. I've got a Vita game here. What if the Vita does it?
Oh, let's just lick them all.
Let's lick them. Let's lick. No, that one doesn't taste like arse. What else have we got here?
Tastes like arse, though.
Oh, I've got Blackgate. Okay, that one tastes like arse, but I think that one was made in someone's arse. Batman, Blackgate.
It's made to represent its gameplay mechanics.
It was a shit game. All right, that's it for the news, Red. How about we go on to the news segment? Do you remember? Did you pay attention to which segment was next?
Huh?
You can't remember which one I said?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Remember when?
Remember when. All right, let's go and do that. Okay, so remember when. Look, a quick explanation as to what this segment's going to be about. And it's only on trial, so if it's no good, we're going to give it the sack. Remember when is going to be a segment where we start off by saying, remember when blah, blah, blah. So, and we're going to talk about things, any topic, anything really. Remember when, my shoes didn't fit last week, and remember when blah, blah, blah. So that's the idea anyway. So this week is going to be, remember when online passes were a thing?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Well, they were a thing. Some people may not know about them. If you're getting into gaming now, you're definitely not going to know about them. But what it was, an online... What's that?
I just need to stop you right there.
Oh, okay.
A Nintendo Switch game coming out is going to be Online Pass.
Oh, it's coming back?
Yeah!
Oh, fuck. So anyway...
Go on.
Hear this out. An online pass was introduced into the video game scene when publishers like EA and Ubisoft, the big offenders, they started to include one-use codes in their new games, and those codes were required to use the online features of the game. So basically the idea was, they came up with excuses of it was to stop piracy and all that sort of stuff. No, it wasn't.
Nah.
It was to discourage second-hand purchases, which basically ensured that if anybody did buy a second-hand version, that the publisher would still get a piece of the pie. They'd still get that, $10 for whatever the code costs. So if you bought the game brand new, you got a free online code, which is your online pass. If you bought the game second hand, the the general idea is that code was already used, so you had to pay $10 to play the multiplayer aspect of the game. This
absolutely
sucked.
is bullshit.
Like, it didn't really impact me too much because I didn't really play much multiplayer back in, because this all sort of kicked off in around the 2010 era. I'm not a big multiplayer person, you know, but it even affected some games like scoreboards and stuff like that and updates. You had to have this pass. For example, SOCOM, US Navy SEALs Fire Team Bravo 3 on the PSP, had a $20 online pass.
Fuck.
And that's with Sony claimed that this was to stop piracy. Don't think so.
Nah, pay DRM, mate.
That's right. Mass Effect 2 required an online pass to access the Cerberus network. That was $10 from EA. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 10 had an online pass from EA. And Dead Space 2, I remember that one because I actually wanted to play that. Because I think I rented it at first. And I couldn't play the multiplayer. I think it actually gave me like a 24-hour trial or something like that. We could play the multiplayer for a short time, and I didn't have to buy the online pass, which was really cool because they save you money. This was good from EA. They save you the money by giving you the 24-hour trial, and then you realise that the multiplayer actually sucks balls, and you save you $10. That was pretty good.
But did it make the game $10 cheaper at retail?
Why would
I can't remember.
Why would it do that?
Look, online passes would work.
Oh, you mean the second-hand game?
Or either, the second-hand game. But then there's way too many bloody distributors. Obviously, we've got EB here, and then second-hand distributors and everything.
It can't make the game cheaper because there's no connect from the publisher or the publisher
to the second-hand distributor.
So they're not giving them a cent. They're not giving the seller, the on-seller, a cent.
Yeah.
So they can't make it cheaper. The only option is that when you trade in that game, you're getting less for it. So they're making it really ugly to trade in games, and they're making it even uglier to purchase used games as well. So that was the idea behind the online pass, which sucked big time. Nobody liked it, but this is probably the only example I can think of a time where people made noise, and they made big noise, and it made a difference.
The Last of Us had an online pass.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah,
for the PS3.
They called it a network pass.
Yeah. They've since been removed. There was enough noise made that they've all been removed. I don't know of any games now other than what you've just suggested on the Switch, and good luck to them. But
Army 2 had it as well. I remember that one because I used to play it.
Yeah, so it's been removed, and previous iterations of those games have been patched where they're no longer required as well. But keeping in mind, games like Mass Effect 2, the Cerberus network is down now. Is not supported anymore anyway. So, that was a thing once upon a time, and gamers made a difference. So just keep that in mind when people are trying to push agendas like don't pre-order and stuff like that. We do have the power. It's just whether or not we want to use that power. So there you go.
DRM in the Microsoft or on the Xbox One, we had the power to sway that, didn't we?
Yeah, that worked as well. They got rid of that. I'm not sure if that worked in our favour, because some of those features sound really cool, where you could do like family sharing and stuff like that, but those sort of things never saw the light of day because of the noise we made. But anyway, that's Remember When. Now tell us, to everyone that listens to the show, did you like that? You know, it's obviously going to be something different every week. And I think, Red, you're doing next week. Is that right? We're doing...
Well, the thing was we had a bit of a discussion. Also, if we're going to get some feedback, we may as well put this on the table too. Should we, when we take in turns, hold back the subject so it's a raw opinion from the counterpart? So if I come up with next week's, do I tell Luke about it so he can do his research, or do I do the research, make it look like I've done a good job, and we can just get Luke's reactions and his opinions on the the remember when. So I'm going with this idea, where if we don't tell each other, then we can genuinely go, oh wow, yeah, wicked.
Yeah, I like that idea.
It depends how factual you want it to be. If you can rely on one person to bring all the facts and the other person to have opinions and reactions, then I reckon that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, me too. I think that is a good idea.
Because I've already got mine.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, we'll have that for next week, and we want opinions on if you liked the new segment. But anyway, for another new segment, we're going into user-created content. Here we go. So we've had a few ideas floating around, and this was one that was brought to us because I just in the last couple of days I put up a post on the Facebook page saying give us some ideas. One of them was we want more community engagement and things like that, and this was an idea that I came up with where user-created content we can put through every week. We'll say to you guys, look, the cutoff is going to be this day because that's when we're recording. Get in some ideas. If you've got a question you want to ask that you want us to answer, if you want our opinions on something, if you want assistance with something, if you want us to cover something, let us know, and it's going to feature in user-created content every week. Now, we're not going to be able to cover everybody's suggestions. Some weeks we'll do one because it'll be in-depth. Some weeks we'll do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can when we can. And
yep.
There's... I don't know what I was going to say then. For what we've got here is from... This is one that I've selected. If we've got time, we'll do another one. But Michael Headland actually asked us what inspired you to start the page. Now, this is going to be directed at me because Red... No disrespect and taking nothing away from the hard work you've done. You weren't there at day one. So nope. I'll take the reins with this. So to answer the question, what inspired me to start the page is we're going back. Aussie Gamers Express or Aussie Gamers started in 2012. But it goes beyond that. It goes way before that to probably 2007, 2008, where I was... inspired a lot by 2 main sources. First one that I'll mention is, and I don't necessarily recommend that everyone go and listen or watch this guy, is DSP, Darkside Phil. Have you heard of him?
Yes, because of you.
Yeah, well, I've watched a lot of Darkside Phil's videos on YouTube, and he was very popular back then. He's had a bit of a fall from grace for X and Y reasons. You can find out by Googling or watching on YouTube some of the things. But I really enjoyed his videos back then. They were quite funny. And he was making video game content, and I loved video games. So I thought, I'm going to start doing video game content. Now, at the time, I didn't have the facilities to do videos of me playing. I tried, which you can go and check on the Aussie Gamers Express YouTube channel. There are some very, very early gameplay video of me, and it's very bad. But go and check it out. It's all there. So what I did is I started up a blog, and I was writing about the games that I was playing. As I would play them, I would update the blog and say what I'd experienced, whether I liked it, blah, blah, blah. And that went on for a while. That blog was called Gaming by Luke 1. And as time went on, I had a fair few things going on in my life where I had to leave it all behind. And it stopped for probably about 12 months. And then when that part of my life subsided, and I had a lot of free time then, that's when I spoke with Reprimir, and I said, dude, let's start up a gaming Facebook page, and let's call it Aussie Gamers. And we did. And then shortly after the page started, now obviously we just started inviting all of our friends and getting as many people as we could started onto Aussie Gamers. I started listening to a podcast which was produced in America, and it was called The Xbox Achievers. And I loved that podcast. I listen to it every week, and there are Rusky Big Muskie. He's been around for ages. Russell Biggerstaff, he'll know about it. He was one of their biggest fans. And the hosts were Zach Knuckles, Silver Pac-Man, I think he was called back in the day, or Little Big Pac-Man, one of the two. And also we had, his name escapes me. Oh, I'm very sorry. I haven't heard from him in a while. That's why I've forgotten his name. King Jiggly was his name that he used on there, and that podcast went on for a while. They changed their name to, I think it went to our Xbox World, I think, and then went to Chomp on This Gaming. I hope I'm getting this correct. I'm just going off my head here. I figured it'd sound a little bit smoother coming from my brain rather than reading it, but that's making me stumble because I can't remember things because I'm getting old. But yes, Chomp on This Gaming, and it was amazing. So those guys inspired me to start the podcast back when we did in 2000. I think we started in 2011, the podcast. The original. And then it went from there. Unfortunately, Chomp on This Gaming doesn't exist anymore. They don't do anything. They're finished up. But what they did for me back in the day, and the inspiration that I got from them, from Zach Knuckles and his team at the time, it pushed forward what Aussie Gamers Express is today. So that's where it all started. I mean, there's a lot more involved in how we evolved and became what we are, but that's essentially the beginning. That was the roots of Aussie Gamers Express there. Anything to add, Red, or ask?
Nah, not off the top of my mind, because I know most of your history.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. We might punch in one more, just so we can get a couple of names up there.
There's two. I can answer one really, really quickly.
Which one's that? Go ahead.
Martin Creamers, what older game would you recommend we play if we haven't played it yet?
Yeah.
I've even gone to the trouble of finding it on Steam to make sure it's still available.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Total Annihilation.
Oh, yeah.
$5 on Steam, US. One of the original RTSs to come out with the original Command & Conquer and Age of Empires, so around those days. And it is a genre-defining real-time strategy game. So if you're a fan of RTSs back in the day, this one is definitely a go, because it's got a cool little unique feature where you have a commander unit is actually your builder, but he's also your most offensive unit. But if he dies, it's also game over, a la Regicide. So get amongst it. It's got a few unique properties there for a very highly populated genre back in the day.
Nice. My answer to that one is Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. It's not a well-known game. It wasn't super popular, but it's a brilliant game. Monkey Magic. It's if any of the older crew know the Monkey Magic TV series. You'll know the storyline, and you'll find some recognisable characters in Enslaved Odyssey to the West. It's available on PC, PS3 and Xbox 360. So check that one out, Enslaved Odyssey to the West. That's the game I would recommend if you haven't played it. Go and play it.
We're so invested.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
Just a rough idea on the type of gameplay. It's kind of like Uncharted. It's a little bit Uncharted-esque.
Action adventure.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Was there another one you wanted to quickly punch out?
Oh, man, we're so invested. There's 3 more.
3 more? No,
Let's do more.
No, just pick one more. One more.
Do you think video games are a better platform for political correctness or for freedom of speech and artistic impression? From Samuel Matheson. I really wanted to answer this one.
Okay, so what is it? Do you think video games are a better platform for political correctness or for freedom of speech in artistic impression? Is that one?
Expression, yep.
Right. What do you think?
Fuck political correctness.
Okay.
I reckon video games should have the same creativity and the same ability to loosen their belt when it comes to taboo as movies and TV shows do, because they go through exactly the same review, like classification review board.
Yeah. Well, look, I think I know the answer to this, but have you ever been to a stage performance or a stage play?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I've been to some stage plays in the past, and I've seen themes of incest. I've seen themes of racism.
Yep.
Murder. And
Rape.
What was that? Rape, yeah.
Rape.
Yep. Those sort
all
of
the
things.
taboos, yeah.
These sort of things play out on a theatre stage, right? And I'm a firm believer that when in the right context, for the right reasons, words like nigger, cunt, are extremely taboo. But when they're used in the right context and for the right reasons, they are part of the English language, and they deserve to be heard and to be used for emphasis and for authenticity. I believe that stage plays are no different to video game theatrics. They are there to tell a story and to be enjoyed. And I believe that, yes, freedom of speech and freedom to portray what you wish, whether it be on a stage, on the big silver screen, or on a video game, yes, it's absolutely welcome.
It's the only way we'll become emotionally invested.
Yeah.
Because you hear those words and you hear the degradation and everything like that, and you, in the pit of your guts, you start to develop a hate for the protagonist if they're that way inclined, or if you know what I mean. You become more invested, and it's it's a brilliant storytelling medium, and I can't see why it should ever be taken away. When you look at it, they go, "Oh, a lot of kids play video games." You look at your core average age of a gamer is in the mid-30s.
Yeah.
It may change in a generation, but that's where we are now, and we've all been adults for over a decade, so we can handle it or we don't buy it.
Political correctness has its place. I believe in being politically correct, say, on the 6 o'clock news. I believe in being politically correct in public. And I believe in being politically correct generally. But when it comes to a form of art and expression, no. The political correctness can get out of control. And the thing is, you're not being politically incorrect by using such words or showing certain acts of violence or racist terms, or like the themes of rape. That's not
anything in taboo in nature.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that, or oppressing women and things like that. If you're showing an art form which is basically imitating life and how it really was, you're telling a story. Political correctness doesn't have a part. Doesn't belong there.
No, and you've only got a certain amount of time to be able to, like a movie, TV show, video game, stage show, all these forms of art. You've only got a certain amount of time to try and convey the feelings and emotions that you are, to try and leave an impact on it, to leave a legacy. Like The Last of Us. Look at the taboos in there and everything. Child killing, sacrificing, all homosexuality. It's all in there. No, that's becoming like political correctness these days is different to what political correctness was last week. Let's be honest. That is such a grey term at the moment, and with the feminist movement and the Black Lives Matter and everything, fuck off. Everybody matters. Everybody's happiness matters. It's just how you live that out. I'm a middle-aged male, married in a heterosexual relationship with children, but I don't go sticking my tongue down my partner's neck downtown. I don't. That's not correct. That's behind closed doors sort of affection that your wife or your partner, they deserve it just for themselves. You don't need to be showing everyone. So I just think that was a really, really brilliant question. And does it deserve a place? Does political correctness deserve a place as a structure when it comes to creating a narrative or a script for a video game? No, it has no place.
Yeah, I agree.
That was wicked. That was a wicked question.
Yeah, thanks to Michael, Martin and Samuel for those suggestions there. Anyone else that didn't get theirs read out, we'll cover in coming weeks. So thank you to everyone that suggested there. So that's it for user...
Yeah, we'll document the other ones. So if there's a light on week, we've got something to talk about.
Yeah, I've got them listed in the script. All good. We won't forget about them. That's it for user-created content, Red. Let's go to the usual one that we've done every week. What's that sound?
Oh, yeah. If it was game talk, I had another hour to fill.
No, dude. Alright, so what's that sound? Last week I said Battlefield Bad Company. You said Call of Duty series. And the survey said you're both wrong. It was Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And
very topical. We got to be switched on for fucking Rep Premier at the moment.
Yeah, when I got the answer from Rep Premier, I said, "You son of a bitch." But this was last week's What's That Sound, if you forget.
But I'm just thinking it was Ghost Warrior. No, it wasn't Ghost Recon. I got a feeling that's what it was.
Right, yeah. What?
We can't play the sound because it's a WAV file, but I got a strong feeling it was Ghost Recon.
Right.
Never mind, I was being a dick. Being a dick.
Yeah.
Won't make the cut.
Alright, boys. We're up. Good. What's up, 30? No smart-ass comment?
Yeah, 'cause my ass is numb. But I don't know if it's from the cold or from sitting on it for 3 days.
There we go. Now we're ready. Let's do it.
It's great. It's just crazy.
There you go. So that's what that was from. All right, let's have a listen to this week's What's That Sound. It's from Rep Premier as usual, and the title for this one is Pew Pew Pew. All right. We did it. We did it to ourselves. I said, give us one that's a sound and it's not Googleable. It's a bit harder, and he gives us that. Oh my god! All right, let's have another listen. Is that Bloodborne?
I don't know. Could be.
You don't have any ideas?
I was going to go with Hitman.
Hitman. Oh, just have to listen to the first sound we hear.
Oh yeah, that could be strikes.
That first sound kind of, not exactly, but it reminds me of the visceral attack.
Oh, there's our answers.
Yeah, okay, that'll do. I said Bloodborne. What did you say?
Hitman.
Bloodborne. I type this in so I don't forget. Bloodborne, and Red said
Hitman.
Hitman. All right, there we go. No idea. If you listening at home or wherever you are think you know what the sound is, send us a message to our Facebook page, and if you're correct, we'll send you across a free game. Please don't hold back. Even have a guess. We want as many answers as we can. As for last week's, I don't know, did we get answers? I forgot to check.
No.
No, I don't think we did. I did check, but earlier on, and there was nothing. Have a go. Anyone, have a go, even if it's too hard. All right, let's move on to Red's shout.
Yes. Whoops. Shut the page down.
That's
Give
all right.
me 10 seconds.
For the report card thing, I've got it up.
Yeah. Red's going to hand it over to Luke's shout.
Yeah, I was going to say it.
You did do a shout last week on the page, I think.
On what?
On one of your Lucas's updates, on one of your update videos.
Oh, maybe.
You're giving shout outs.
Oh, yeah, because I'll go through what's on the actual Facebook page and read out the comments. Yeah. Well, we put a report card thing up saying give us some advice on, or give us some ideas on what we do well, what we don't do well, anything you want to see. And I said that I'd give a shout to anyone that commented, and I've got a list here. We've got Brendan Thompson, thank you very much. Michael Headland, he wanted more community involvement. Richard Piddington, thank you very much for your advice as well. Russell Biggerstaff said that the background music in the podcast gets a bit loud at times. I tend to agree with you. The reason for that is because of the CPU fan is like murmuring in the background, and the background sound kind of hides it a little. But I've made some changes. The CPU fan's a bit quiet. I'm using a different microphone, so we might be able to get that background music a little bit more in the background, which is good. Thanks for the advice there. Martin Creamers wants special guests and reader mail. Reader mail might be a thing. We're kind of incorporating that into user-created content, so that kind of come from Martin as well, so that was good advice there. Thank you very much. Robert White, review the worst game ever. Well, I've already reviewed Wanda.
I don't think there's any worse game than that.
Yeah, I think we hit rock bottom when we did that one, but that's something we might look at. Adam Ryle said specials of the week. We have done that in the past. It's something we may do again in the future. It's just really hard with the timing of the show. Sometimes by the time the show goes live, because it's not a live show, the specials end.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to make sure that we've got, like, it might be a 24-hour sale, but if we mention it on the podcast, by the time the podcast goes live, it's no longer on special. So we've kind of that died off for that reason. So there is that. But you will notice
I did bring you a special today, so I'll keep an eye out. Predominantly PlayStation for any of the extended sales, like the monthly ones or the fortnightly ones, and I'll see if I can add them into final words or something. Last word, sorry.
Awesome.
But yeah, taken on board.
Dean Davey, thanks man. Shout out to you. He's asked for more tits. I agree. There is a lack of boobage on Aussie Gamers Express. There's probably a good reason for that. The boobs that the majority of us have are hairy and not what you want to see. So maybe you can hit up Ram. Maybe.
Go on. Say there was my in.
Oh, you're in for what, to get your boobs out?
Yeah, I done it once and won a competition on Aussie Gamers Express.
You did too. You did too. So yeah, Dean, I don't know. Maybe message the page and keep asking for more boobs. We'll see how we go, but we'll put up some cool cosplays. But we can't put up nudity. That's not on. Facebook will squash that straight away. So, but I agree. More tits is good. We love the boobies. Last one I've got here. Tristan Raffone says that we don't get enough attention, but then he also tells us that he doesn't comment much. So essentially, Tristan, you're part of your own problem. You can fix that by getting more involved. Everyone can get more involved. Comment on our stuff, like our stuff, share our stuff, and we can make Aussie Gamers Express explode and get a lot bigger. We've got over 5,000 likes on the page. If every single one of us referred one person, we can double that overnight. Now that's probably close enough to an impossibility, but it's if we do our own little bit. If you like what we do and you want to share it, share our stuff, share the podcast, share the page, share our posts, and we're going to become a bigger community for it. We always police the page and make sure it's troll free. So if there's anybody on the page being a douchebag, we'll usually catch it. If we don't catch it, report it to us. We'll ban them, and we'll keep Aussie Games Express a good environment for gamers to come and talk about gaming, and without the fear of being spoken to by a troll. So there you go.
Yeah, fuck the trolls.
Yeah, absolutely. Trolls belong in games like Troll and I, which I'll mention in last words. Red, did you have anything more to add to your shout that I did end up hijacking?
No, that was wicked. That was
all good.
It's exactly what we wanted to do, and we must say that we've taken everything on board, and there's been a few new additions and slight changes and microphone changes and everything just for this show. So yeah, week by week basis, and we'll keep getting better.
Okay, awesome. Let's go into last words. Only thing I've got is EB Expo tickets on sale this week. This month. So it shouldn't be much longer now. It is the 16th, so it'll be in the next week or two for the EB Expo in Queensland. And Red, any last words?
Yes, just to freshly hit our page and to hit the sound waves of the internet, Outlast 2 has been refused classification in Australia.
Oh, yes.
And we will bring more information, I will say, and it'll probably be a news item next week where we can have a bit of a discussion. And also, something that didn't quite make the news this week due to lack of body to it. A shooter based on the Tarantino's cult film Reservoir Dogs is on its way from Big Games. Now, Big Games has made a pledge and got some licensing to try and make, I quote, good video games based on movie franchises. So we'll see how that goes, because we've seen how it goes in the past.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for that one. And Troll and I, if you don't know what that game is, I've got a post up on the website, www.aussiegamersexpress.com. Go and check it out. There's an interview with the development team for Troll and I. It's a game coming out with Couch Co-op, where you get to play as a little human being and a big troll. Kind of a bit like that other game, Last Guardian. We'll see how it pans out, but that's coming out soon, and there's an interview that we had up there. A few questions there. So check it out, that on the website. That's it, Red?
That's it, Cobb. We've fucking got it all in.
Yep, we got it in with some new segments, and I think it'll be a nice, fresh show. So without further ado, thanks everyone for listening and participating, and everyone that got a shout. Special one for you guys this week. Appreciate all of your words of wisdom. I have nothing else to say, so without further ado, I am Lucas.
And I'm Red.
And that's the end of the show. Catch us all next week. See ya.
Bye.
That's it, we are finished for another week. We are packing up our bat and ball and we're going home. If you're keen for more content before the next show, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like, and check out our website at www.aussiegamersexpress.com. We are also on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and every other social network that you can think of, except that weird one that no one uses. You know the one. This podcast is also available on iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. See you all next time on the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.